Everybody has got their favourite type of branch mining method that they say gives the best results. Well, I'm going to take 4 of the top methods, test them out under the microscope and see which one is indeed the best branch mining method in Minecraft. Don't you go anywhere. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening and good night, and welcome to another episode from me, Avomance, in my Let's Find Out the Truth series. Yeah, I've just made up the name of another series that will probably only be 1 episode, but if you've got any other ideas, lob them down in the comments below and I'll be really happy to have a think about it. But I don't mind telling you that I constantly get asked what is the best way to mine to get the maximum ores and diamonds and all that kind of stuff. And there are a few different ideas out there. We are talking branch mining, not strip mining. Strip mining is where you take the surface off of the ground 1 layer at a time. We're branch mining, we're digging all the way down and we're going across. But there is a big argument in the Minecraft community. Big argument. What's the best way? Well, today we are going to test out the best way from a number of different branch mining methods just to see whether or not we can get the answer. So how are we going to do this test? Well, we're going to make sure it is fair. So I'm going to use exactly the same seed with a start point in exactly the same place by using 4 different mining methods. Now, these 4 methods are arguably the 4 most common methods used when I've asked a load of Minecraft players. If you've got another method that you prefer, let me know in the comments below. Be really interested. Also, I'd really appreciate it if you enjoy the video, slap that like button, and if you've not done it already, do hit the subscribe button. It really helps the channel out. I'm also going to use exactly the same equipment when I go down to each different mining trial. We're going to have a number of torches, food, a crafting table so we could potentially make some more torches with the oak log. I've got a diamond pickaxe with efficiency 4, mending and unbreaking 3, but not fortune, and then it's a fair test because we've not got the fortune multiplying up and putting chance in to have more ore. We've got a number of shulker boxes to hold everything, and at the end of the trial we're going to see how much we have got of each different item. We're going to do this in a mountain biome because there is obviously a chance there to get emeralds as well as the other ores, so I figured that would make it just that little bit more interesting. So let's get ourselves down to Y11. The other rules that we're going to follow are that if we expose an ore whilst we're mining, we can take out the entire vein, but we're not going to fill in the holes because that takes up time. We're going to mine each method for just exactly 30 minutes, so we don't want to waste any of those precious seconds. If we come to lava, we're going to pour a water bucket on it and carry on as if it is the standard floor of our tunnel. So I'm going to be adding a bucket of water to my inventory. If we come to a cave or a ravine, we're going to plough straight through it. We're not going to explore it left or right unless that's the direction that our mining method takes us in. If there are ores exposed within 2 blocks of where our standard tunnel would be, we can mine them. If it's further than that, we cannot, because we wouldn't have seen them if we hadn't have mined it. I am down at Y11, which is the optimal mining space really in a Minecraft world. And I'm going to save the world right here. So I start in exactly the same space and exactly the same seed with exactly the same chance of getting exactly the same ores every single mining method to make it a fair test. And we are going to start mining with this block here, -342, 12, 1715. Each and every time the first strike is going to be on that block. We are going to mine with 4 separate mining methods. Method 1 is really simple. We're going to dig a 2 block gap that has got a gap of 3 blocks between it and then another 2 block gap. And then what we're going to do is we're going to dig 100 blocks in a straight line. And when we finish that 100 blocks in a straight line, we're going to turn around and we're going to dig 1, 2, 3 and 4. And we're going to dig all the way back again until we come out to where we started. And once we've done that, we're going to go along again, leaving a gap of 3 blocks and dig in again. Standard method, very simple. Method 2, very similar to method 1, except we're going to dig out 3 blocks high. Now that extra time to dig out that extra block will mean that we dig fewer blocks out in terms of distance, but will exposing those extra blocks mean that we get extra stuff? That will be interesting. Method 3, we are going to dig in 2 blocks And then on the third block, we're going to go sideways out to 5 further blocks. And we're going to do that 2 higher. And then we're going to turn around 5 blocks. And then we're going to carry on another 3. And then 5 blocks, etc, etc. And when we have gone in 50 blocks, we're going to come out and we're going to come along 11 blocks and repeat the process again. Method 4, you've guessed it, we're going to do exactly the same thing, but it is going to be 3 blocks high. Again, it's going to take a lot longer to cover less ground, but will we be opening up more ores that we can take advantage of? Let's find out. So let's make a start. Method 1, 30 minutes. Let's go. This is the result of method 1. We have got 20 diamonds, 3 emeralds, 35 lapis, nearly 2 stacks of iron ore, enough redstone to make a stack plus 12 plus a few redstone dust, 15 gold ores, 4 nearly 5 stacks of coal, all of that. I'm going to note these down exactly, reset the world, and we'll crack on with method 2. We are reset and ready to go with our second method, which, if you remember, is exactly the same, but 3 high instead of 2 high. Let's start the clock, 30 minutes, let's go. Second method complete and some really interesting results. Quick sneaky peek. That's all you get. Really, really interesting. We need to compare it with the first one and then compare the third and the fourth, and I'll bring all of that together at the end. One more reset and we have completed this project. Let's do the 3 high version of that branched one now. All 4 results are in. Let's bring it all together and see which one's the best. So the question was, which of the 4 most common mining methods give the best result? We had to remove as many variables as possible. We put the same seed in, we used the same rules, we did it in exactly the same area, starting from the very same block. We have got some numbers that are going to put this one to rest at last. Let's look at them. And this is the raw data, so if you want to take a little bit of a closer look at it, pause the video, take a screenshot, do what you'd like to do. But a couple of points of note. Redstone I've turned into blocks because the numbers were unmanageable, so we needed to simplify that down. Cobblestone is measured in stacks. Coal is also measured in stacks, so that's not individual coals or individual cobblestones, they are stacks. To make it easier to see, I've put these into graphs, 3 separate graphs actually, ores, blocks and treasure. This is the ores, lapis, iron, gold and redstone. I've saved coal for something else. Now looking at things like lapis and gold, there isn't an awful lot of difference between the 4 different methods. You can see all of the columns are a little bit similar, really, they're not massively different. However, the iron ore and the redstone blocks are quite significantly different, almost double in some areas. So it looks like the tunneling method, the long tunnel coming back on yourself method, is better for collecting lots of iron and lots of redstone, maybe because of the area that it covers. When we look at the blocks mined, and by blocks I mean things like stone, diorite, gravel, the stony items that you can build with, there's quite a big difference between methods 1 and 3 and methods 2 and 4, which doesn't surprise me really, given that we're digging at a different height with methods 2 and 4, so you're naturally going to get more things like cobble and granite, etc. However, I think it's pretty reasonable to argue that there's not that big a significant difference in terms of the number of blocks mined in the time, because we're just changing the direction of digging by being 3 high or 2 high, or going left and right rather than straight. So statistically it all looks very similar. And this is the one that people are probably going to be the most interested in: diamonds, emeralds and coal. I've put coal in here because the numbers of stacks were used rather than individual numbers, so it makes sense to bring it into a smaller numbered group so as it didn't look too wildly skewed. The fact we got emeralds in there is only relevant because we did it in the biome of the mountains, and of course you can get loads more emeralds by trading with villagers, so this maybe isn't that important to think about. In terms of coal stacks, again, I'd argue that there isn't a massive statistical difference between the two. Perhaps method 1 and 2 give more than 3 and 4, but it's not that big a difference. What is clearly very, very different are the number of diamonds that we managed to get in methods 1 and 2. Interestingly, exactly the same number of diamonds in methods 1 and 2. Now that could be as a result of the specific area that we mined, and if it was a very fair test, we'd perhaps repeat this in a number of different areas to see if it was still different. Methods 1 and 2 went deeper into the mountains, so explored some areas that perhaps 3 and 4 did not. However, 3 and 4 measured far broader sections of the mountains, so you could argue it comes down to the random distribution of the diamonds themselves. But after all, isn't that what we're trying to find anyway? So what has this actually told us? Which is the best of these 4 mining methods? Well, the answer is, it really depends on what it is you're trying to achieve. If you are looking for lots of blocks, things like cobblestone, andesite, granite, that kind of thing, then you probably want to go for method 2 or 4, the 3 high method. It's a lot more efficient to dig out 3 high than it is to dig out 2 high. So any amount of time, you're going to get more blocks per minute as a result of that method. So go just a little bit higher. If your mining objective is to get lots and lots of ores like redstone and iron, gold and lapis, then it seems that method 1 or 2 is going to be your best choice. Those long straight tunnels with no branches seems to be the best option. It gives far more of those types of blocks. And if your objective is treasure, things like diamonds or maybe emeralds, etc., you definitely want to go for method 1 or 2. They are giving far better results than method 3 or 4 because of the distribution of those ores across a much wider range. So taking everything into consideration, the number of ores, the number of treasures, the number of blocks that we got, method 2 seems to be the best of these 4. You get more blocks than method 1. You definitely get more treasures using method 1 and method 2 than you do using method 3 and method 4. So method 2 for me is the winner. But have you got an even better one? If you do, show off in the comments and let me know what it is, and maybe I'll give it a try. Really interesting video that, with lots of information, and maybe now you'll save a lot of time on your mining because you'll be using the best method for you. If you have enjoyed that video, please do remember to slap that like button. It'd be great to know you enjoyed them, and I will keep on making them. Also, if you've not done it already, please do hit that subscribe button. It'd be great to see you in my sub club, and I look forward to seeing you in another video. You take it easy now. Bye.